All right, now let's cover some basic ideas of the IELTS listening. First of all, there are 4 sections. Okay, if you've done any practice at all, you know this already. There are 4 sections. Each section has 10 questions for a total of 40 questions. Within those 4 sections, 2 of them, okay, section 1 and section 2, are based on social situations. Okay, typically in lesson 1 or in section 1, it is often someone calling a organization or a business on the phone and setting up an appointment or asking for information, something like that, where the listener or the person calling is getting information from a business or an organization. Okay. Section 2, typically you have a different scenario, but it's also a social situation. Typically it will be a conversation between 2 people. Okay, it's a very common section 2. The sections 3 and 4 are both based on academic situations. Okay, so section 3 is often a professor and a student, or a professor and 2 students, or 2 students, and they're discussing something directly related to school or assignments. Okay, a project or a research paper that they're working on, something like that. The professor might be giving advice. Okay, the students might be explaining their project. Okay, or it could be related to something on campus. Okay, so it could be a professor looking to improve the program and asking the students to give some feedback, what they like and don't like about the program. Something like that. Okay, so it's almost a bridge. It's somewhat social because it is a conversation, but it's about an academic topic. Okay, and then section 4 has the most difficult language because it is not a conversation. It is a lecture or a presentation. Okay, the speaker is explaining some sort of process or some results of an experiment. Okay, the results of a survey. The situation varies somewhat, but it's always one person explaining something to a group. Okay, and it's a somewhat academic situation. All right, now if you've taken any other tests, for example, the TOEFL test has a much more dry, much more quote-unquote academic style of listening. Okay, the IELTS in general, even the academic situations, are presented in a somewhat more natural, more social way than the TOEFL. And I think that makes it easier, and I think it makes it a better test, but something to be aware of, okay? The test is 40 minutes long, okay, in total, the listening test. And that consists of 30 minutes of listening and writing your answers, okay? You're actually going to have 2 pieces of paper, or one kind of booklet and one piece of paper. All right. One of those you're going to use for 30 minutes. You're going to listen and write your answers in there, but you're actually not going to, that paper is not going to be scored. Okay. The kind of booklet, right? There's also an answer sheet. Okay. And after 30 minutes of listening, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers onto the answer sheet. Okay. Now it's very important. A lot of students kind of relax at this stage because the listening is over, right? Very important that you stay focused. Make sure that your answers are transferring perfectly and correctly to the other side. Okay. Be careful about that. Nothing worse than getting the answer correct, but writing it down incorrectly. That's a horrible, horrible mistake to make, okay? Your band scores look something like this, okay? So in general, getting about half of them right will give you a 5.5. Right? Getting all of them right will give you a 9. And then between that, there are varying degrees. Okay, but in general, this is how your scores will be processed. A couple of other tips. First of all, answer all the questions. All right, don't skip any questions. Some standardized tests will punish you for getting a wrong answer, okay, rather than just leaving it blank. The IELTS test does not. There's no reason not to guess. Guess on everything. You might be right. Just take a guess, okay? There's no harm in guessing if you don't know it, okay? The second thing is to capitalize names and places. Okay, for example, the name Mary Shelby. If that's your answer, you must capitalize the M and you must capitalize the S. All right? If you don't, it's wrong. Okay, just completely wrong. There are no half points. You're not going to get any half credit. Completely wrong. All right? Or the Statue of Liberty. Okay, that's a place. That's a kind of monument. It must be capitalized. Okay, Green River must be capitalized. Emerald City must be capitalized. Okay? Now a little trick. All right, if you are at all unsure about the rules of capitalization, if you capitalize every letter, okay, so for example, the Mary Shelby one, right? If you capitalize M-A-R-Y space S-H-E-L-B-E-Y, capital letters for everything, it will be correct. Lowercase letters for everything will be incorrect. So if you're not sure, should it be capitalized or not, capitalize every letter. That will be counted as correct. All right, so that's a little trick that can help you to not mess up the capitalization. You can capitalize every answer if you want. Other tips. Write on the test paper. By this I mean not the answer sheet, but the test paper, the other paper, the kind of booklet. Write a lot on it. Don't be afraid to write notes on it while you're listening. We're going to talk in a few minutes here about the preparation before each listening passage, okay, each section. There's some preparation time that you have. During this time, your pencil should be moving continuously. You should be writing everything that you think, okay? The process of moving something from your brain to your paper, it's actually a very calming, reassuring process, okay? It's a way of making your thought permanent, right? And this can take a lot of stress away from you when you're taking the test, all right? A good example is, for me, I have a hard time organizing my tasks, all right? As you can see, I have several jobs. So organizing my work for my university and my work for IELTS, it sometimes can be confusing or it can be stressful for me. So for me, it helps me to write down lists of things to do, okay? If you look around my office, I have lists everywhere. And the lists reassure me. They make me feel calm. They make me feel relaxed. And that is a huge benefit when you're taking the exam. If you feel stressed, if you feel panicked, you're going to get a lower score. Okay, if you feel relaxed, you're going to get a higher score, most likely. All right? So write on the test paper. Write down your thoughts. Okay? Don't just think them in your head. That's not enough. You should write them down. Okay? Anyway, that's my little lecture on that. Write everything. Seriously. All right? There will be all kinds of accents on the exam. Okay? So if you have trouble listening to the Australian accent, I would recommend seeking out Australian media and watching it a lot. Okay? Get accustomed to it. The Australian accent, New Zealand accent, certain British accents can be difficult. Maybe for you, maybe the American accent is difficult. I don't know. But if you struggle with any accents, seek out media that is done in that accent and just get your ear accustomed to it. Be careful of spelling. If you spell a word wrong, the answer is incorrect. Okay, they're not going to be kind to you. The examiners are very strict. Okay, capitalization is important and spelling is important as well.